gentlemen, welcome to my Week 12 NFL prediction. Last week, I'm coming off of a 10-5 week, bringing my season total to 103, 60, and 1. Couple of plugs before we hop into it. Don't forget to check out G Fuel or Waggle Golf, who currently has a WyattzWorld page of my favorite products on their website, as their entire website is on sale. Just hit the link in my description. Also, don't forget to use code WyattzWorld at sign up on Prize Picks to guarantee yourself to win a free $50 with your first $5 entry. But as always, please remember to play responsibly, and let's get into the video. So, kicking off Week 12, we have the Bills at the Texans on Thursday Night Football. I know CJ ain't playing. This is still going to be a dogfight, though. I think this is going to be a really miserable game to watch. But I'll take the Bills to come out ahead 21-17. I just see this game playing out really slow. Houston's defense has been so good. Buffalo's offense lately has looked just a little bit too reliant on Josh to just do absolutely everything. I see Houston being ready for that. On top of that, I think Buffalo's run D is going to be very suspect to Woody Marks. I mean, dude, if Rachaad White can average 5 yards a carry on us, anybody can. But I do pick the Bills to come out ahead here. I do pick them to win this game. Houston is missing their starting quarterback, which would make this 10 times more embarrassing if Buffalo went out and lost. Please just continue to get right, guys. Beat the Texans, and then we'll pray for a miracle in Cincinnati. Now moving on, we have Sunday at noon. It is Indy at the Chiefs. Ooh, that's an interesting one, isn't it? I think I'm going to pick the Colts to win this 27-23. Part of me wants to pick the Chiefs because, you know, of that Chiefs factor that they are the Chiefs. But Indy's going to be well rested. Sauce Gardner is going to be more in tune with the defense. Jonathan Taylor is going to be hungry. I think the Colts will march right into KC, and they are going to stun the Chiefs 27-23 and knock them down yet another peg. I'm actually kind of shocked Kansas City is the favorite here. Now moving on, we have the Steelers at the Bears, and this one's really up in the air because Rodgers, believe it or not, is trying to play, and I get it. He wants to go and kick his kid's ass one final time. Either way, though, I'll just be the guy here. I'm going to pick Pittsburgh. I will pick the underdog to win this game, even if it's Mason Rudolph. Reason being, as I think Tomlin will be able to massacre Caleb Williams. I think Caleb has exposed enough weaknesses in himself that Tomlin's going to know exactly what to do to shut him down. I feel like there's not going to be a lot of success through the air. They're going to switch to the ground, where they're going to meet Pittsburgh's run defense, which is known to be a little problematic for running backs. I don't see Chicago putting up a lot of points. I see them turning the ball over. I see them having a bunch of 3-and-outs. And I think the Steelers win in a very boring 17-16 ball game. Now we got New England at Cincy. Cincinnati, this wouldn't be the first time you guys have had the chance to help us out, and this wouldn't be the first time you guys did help us out. You know what I'm saying right now? Are you listening to me? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Listen, obviously I'm going to pick the Patriots here. They've been unstoppable, and the Bengals have been awful. I also don't know what the deal is with Jamar Chase. He's supposed to serve a suspension, but now he's going to appeal it, which I think would technically allow him to play this week, but then get him suspended for another week because he is going to get suspended. It doesn't matter. When you're playing the best quarterback in the NFL and you have a defense like the Cincinnati Bengals does, you're gonna get killed. I bet you Drake May throws 4 touchdowns this game, and shockingly, for the first game in his career, even though he's the passing leader in the NFL, will for the first time break 300 passing yards. Isn't it weird that he hasn't done that yet? Like, what the fuck? Oh, I suppose I need to have a score prediction for this game too. Patriots win 30-10. Joe Flacco is gonna be miserable. Now we've got the Giants at a very angry Detroit Lions. I think the Lions will win this one 24-14. Hey, the Giants hung in there with Green Bay. I think that was pretty respectable, even though Green Bay is terrible, and I think that's where they're going to get caught up with Detroit. I don't doubt New York's ability to get down the field and throw out some points, get in the end zone a couple times, but unlike last week, they're playing a team that's going to be able to go out there and score at will. I know Detroit struggled last week, but that was also against a team that is tied for the best record in football. They'll get right here and correct themselves against the Giants. Now we've got Minnesota at Green Bay. I am half tempted to pick Minnesota just because Green Bay has been so lackluster, but I can't with the offense I've seen out of Minnesota this year. It's impossible. I've beat on JJ enough to the point where I don't even need to critique him anymore. I would just really like to see him play better though, so I could have a grimace of hope. Weird thing about JJ though is he seems to be able to play on the road. Not sure why he can, but maybe this will be the week that he bounces back. Or it'll be a week where he goes out there and throws another fucking 2-3 interceptions and then proceeds to high-five his entire team afterwards. I also don't think this will be a good ground and pound day for Minnesota either. Green Bay has like a top 6 run defense. To be honest, I just think we're in for an absolute snooze fest. I think the Packers win this game 17-13, where somewhere towards the end of the game, Christian Watson will get a receiving touchdown. That's my prediction of the week. He's a fast, tall receiver. Minnesota secondary doesn't do well against that. That'll bring us to Seattle at Tennessee. This will also be my dad's pick, so stay tuned for that. I don't really have to drag this one out. I'll take Seattle to bounce back and win this 28-7. Yep, Sam Darnold had a stinker. Seattle lost to the Rams. They also only lost by 2 points, and that was with their offense playing like at their absolute worst. I'm not worried about Seattle, and I don't think anybody in Seattle is really worried about Seattle.
Hello, Wyatt's World Junkies. It's the Fossil coming to you from the cave. Last week, with the help of the Cameo coin, I was able to correctly pick San Francisco to go into Arizona and beat the Cardinals. That moves me to 10-1. As in previous weeks, I'm looking for teams that have not been in previous picks that I've made. And there's only one game out there. Not a very good game, but I'm picking it anyway. So, Seagull King, you get your wish. I'm going to pick a Seattle game. Seattle goes into Tennessee to play the Titans. The Titans have the worst offense in the league, and they're going against the number 6 defense. This is a real mismatch. I don't think Ward gets anything going against Seattle. I think Ridley's out now for the season. I think Darnold probably has something to prove here. I think he goes in and he plays real well. I think this is going to be kind of an annihilation. I look for the Sea Hags to beat the Tennessee Titans in a game 31-6. I think there's going to be a lot of sacking going on. Poor Ward will be running for his life. So the Hags win this one. I also see, Trevor, you want me to pick the Bears game, but I tell you what, I'm saving that pick for a special game coming up in a few weeks. All of you Wyatt's World Junkies, you have a great week, and I'll see you next week.
Now we got New York at Baltimore. Baltimore wins 33-10. This will be an ass-kicking from one end of the field to the other. Lamar is going to throw for 250, 2 touchdowns. Derrick Henry is going to run for 100, 2 touchdowns. Maybe I'll switch the Ravens to get 35 points to make the score make more sense here. But they should beat the dog shit out of the Jets. Now we've got Cleveland at Vegas. Ugh. Sorry in advance, I am not watching this game. I will not watch a second of it. I couldn't care less about a game. I'm going to take Cleveland to win 10-7. I think this game is going to suck. I think Geno is going to throw 3 interceptions again. I think he's going to deal with pressure. He's probably going to get sacked 4 times. Gosh, I don't know who's playing for Cleveland. If it's Shador, it's going to be really slow. And even if it's Gabriel, the game is still going to suck. I look for Judkins to carry Cleveland here, running for over 100 yards, carrying Cleveland's offense down the field, keeping them on the field just long enough to squeak out ahead of the Raiders by 3. Now moving on, we have Jacksonville at Arizona. Here's my upset of the week. I'm picking Arizona to win this game. Even though Jacksonville's coming off of that huge win versus the Chargers, I still think they look sloppy and I still think they look inconsistent. Also, they have a tremendous run defense. I think it ranks 1 in the NFL right now, but they have a horrendous secondary. And the problem with that is that they're playing Jacoby Brissett this week. And right now, he is resembling the strongest part of Ryan Fitzpatrick that he can. And what I mean by that is that man is just slinging it. He is throwing that fucking ball all over, and he is throwing to anybody he sees. I also think Jacksonville is going to come into this game looking ahead of it already. Like, they're just not worried about it. And that's where it's going to bite them in the ass when they have 7 points thrown on them in the first 5 minutes, and they're going, oh shit, what do we do now? We actually have to play. Jacoby Brissett will throw a pick this game, but he's also going to throw 3 touchdowns, and the Cardinals will beat the Jags. 24-16. Now moving on, we have Philly at Dallas. I would love to pick Dallas, but I can't. I gotta take Philly. We'll go very similar score to week 1, 23-20. Listen, the harsh reality about Dallas is they have only beaten the baddest of the bad when it comes to their victories this year. And when they play a competent team, they either get their asses kicked or they just come up a little short. Like, Dallas doesn't have the defense, much like Cincinnati. As much as they can go out there and score points, what good is it when you also can't stop anyone? No, the Raiders don't count because that's not even an NFL fucking team right now. I think Philly's gonna play the clock a lot this game. I expect him to keep Dallas off the field as much as possible. But even with that being said, I still think George Pickens will continue to have like a huge season. He'll have a big game here. Being next to CeeDee Lamb has opened him up so much more. It's like the best thing to ever happen to him. Eagles win. Now moving on, we have the Atlanta Falcons and Kirk Cousins facing the Saints, where the Saints are actually favorites, believe it or not. I'm gonna pick the Falcons because I think they would have obviously won last week if they weren't playing Superman. I also think their defense will be able to contain New Orleans quite easily. But this game is truly about as hard to care about as the Browns and the Raiders. Like, this is like walking into Thanksgiving and being told that you're gonna be eating pizza. Like, yeah, it's still food, but you don't want to do that. Yeah, this is still a football game. I don't want to fucking watch it. Now moving on to Sunday night, we have a banger, the Buccaneers at the Rams. Well, I hope it's a banger. I was wrong about that last week. I'm going to take the Rams here to win this game 28-24. I think this will be a very fun and entertaining game to watch. These are two electric offenses. I think we'll see some awesome scrambles out of Baker. We'll see some bombs out of Stafford. It's just the reality about this is that when Baker doesn't have a complete team, he doesn't have his actual weapons, and he's playing against the league's best teams who do, like, that's just a disadvantage, and there's no way around it. Matter of fact, I think this game is going to play out very similar to how it did last week versus Buffalo for the Bucs. Like, yeah, I think they will score. Whether it's Tez Johnson or Igbuka bouncing back, or it's John Tucker and Rachaad White going on another bender, they'll score, but they're just not going to be able to keep up. Also horrible for Tampa Bay right now. They have like a bottom 5, bottom 6 secondary. Fuck you gonna do about that? Like, I get it. You'll have Kyron Williams on his ass all game, but I think they're just gonna get diced. And now moving on to Monday night, we have the Panthers at the 49ers, a game I kind of wanted to shit on, but I think it's actually going to be quite good. I am going to take San Francisco to win this 28-20, but I mean, both of these teams have a fighting case to be the winner of this game. I mean, both are coming off of electric weeks last week for their offense. Both of these teams, I think, are overperforming their expectations. Carolina just flat out being pretty good. San Francisco being so banged up, yet still so relevant to the league right now. I think what's going to be the deciding factor in this game is the coaching here. Kyle Shanahan versus Dave Canales. Nothing against Dave so far, but this will be Shanahan's wheelhouse. Going against a younger quarterback who is still developing, while his offense, on the other hand, is healing and he's getting weapons coming back by the week. I think Shanny's going to know exactly what he needs to do to get out of this game ahead, and he's going to succeed at it. 49ers win. And that is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen, for my Week 12 NFL prediction. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, please show support because you know I appreciate it. Anyway, in the meantime, I'm going to get this whipped up so you guys can all watch it on time. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. Stay safe, and as always, I will see you in the next video.